When I did the hitchhiking competition with my friend, we hitchhiked from Amsterdam to Belgium, and we got a ride with a Dutchman, and we asked him if he had ever been to the US, and he said, yeah, I've been to North Dakota. And we, said, oh yeah, how was that? And he said, well, I was driving with my wife and we got lost at one point. We were on this, empty country road. So I said, well, we'll just pull over and ask for directions. So he goes with his map and he goes up to just some person's house and knocks on the door. And apparently the wife came to the door and looked through the peephole, went away, came back with her husband, and her husband had a rifle in his hand. And then the Dutch guy is going, no, 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 holding up the map, like I'm just asking for directions. I'm Sharlene Castle. I'm from the Bay Area in California, and I am studying social studies and gender studies at the University of Amsterdam. He was so shocked. He said, if you are in the Netherlands, if you need help, you can go up to someone's house and ask them for help if you're lost, and they will help you. And he said he was just very surprised that that was the reaction that he got. But my friend and I, as soon as he said we went up to someone's door to ask for help, we both looked at him like, are you crazy? Because you just don't do that in the US. I just think that it's really sad that I live in a country where students have to go into a great deal of debt to get an education. My mom and dad don't have that money. If they did, sure, life would be great, life would be easy, but that's not the reality for the majority of American college students. We can't just go to the bank of mom and dad and say, hey, can I have $50,000 to pay for this year's tuition? We are doing this on our own, and we're going into debt for the rest of our lives to do it. Given our current world, so many people aren't able to pay for their own things, and that's very much due to a lot of the government's actions. And so I think that just learning to take responsibility for its people and help them when they need it, pay for education, help with health care, pay for, give out welfare and food stamps and all things that we've been cutting back on recently. So finally, this has reached the middle class. My family, we're very, very much middle class. We've had financial struggles. My parents have had to, mortgage and all of that, but we haven't had our house foreclosed on or anything super serious. But I can't afford health insurance. I don't have health insurance in the US because it was costing my mom $400 a month to pay for me, and I wasn't getting sick. And so, and that's $400 that we need for other things. So the fact that I, as a very much middle class woman, don't have health insurance in a country that, is this industrialized, one of supposedly the greatest countries in the world, I think is just ridiculous. I think that it's really the American dream, just this ideal of if you come here and you work hard, you can achieve whatever you want. And you can have a family and a house and a 2-car garage and 2 cars in that garage and a dog, and just have this very nice, settled, happy life if you work hard enough. But I think that the American dream is largely dead at this point. For those of us living in the US, I think that it's much more obvious that the American dream isn't really a dream anymore. It's not attainable for most people. But I do think that most of America is in favor of a broader social welfare system. It's just that those who are in office, who represent us, are not. And particularly at this time, there's very much this stalemate of Republicans are like, we're sticking together and we're defeating the Democrats. And the public good is not necessarily a priority anymore. I'm excited to go back to the US because I get to see my mom and my family, and but honestly, that's the primary reason. I'm going to miss Amsterdam a lot, and I love California. It's a beautiful place to live, but it's also a very expensive place to live. My rent at home is going to be far more than my rent here for a not as nice of situation.